The information that will be shared in this video, it's my understanding, my practice, but more important, my experience. So don't take anything that is going to be said here as the absolute truth. If you resonate with anything that is being said, you can put it into practice and let your experience determine the validity of what is being shared here. Having said that, enjoy this video. Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one is titled, Need Not Search, Simply Look. It's a little bit like the video that I did, I think it's two days ago, that is titled Just Look. But we're looking at it from a different angle, a different approach to see where this is pointing to. There's a tendency of say that when we're dealing with a particular psychological issue to look deep, either in the unconscious or whatever the case may be, to see if we can find a cause. Or maybe when I was a child at the age of 3, this happened, or maybe in my teenage years this happened, and consequently now this is why I feel the way I do or whatever. In these videos, I am not interested in disaccrediting anything because this is not what it's about. This is more like when people have exhausted all the different possibilities and they think that there's no way out. The idea of searching for something, either you want to call it in the unconscious or so, it's just a story. It's a storyline. And the challenge with that, or the problem with that, is that searching for the storyline keeps reinforcing the belief in the sense of identity, which happens to be the issue we are looking at. See, we're always pointing to the fact that what I am is ever-present experience. This is all there is. This is pure experiencing. And what overshadows that, and by the way, that ever-present experiencing is the peace that we're talking about. It's just pure peace. It's happiness. It's always constant. But once a thought is believed in, see, that's what overshadows that ever-present awareness that we are always, you see. So we're dealing with how the thinking mind overshadows that and makes up a story. And the original story was the story, I am this individual. I am my thoughts. I am my feelings. I am my sensations. And then I try to somehow behave in a way that fits within the mold of what I believe myself to be, and to fit within the mold of a society that behaves in a particular way. Okay? That says this is right, this is wrong, these are the shoulds, these are the shouldn'ts, and all that stuff. Now, don't think that if you surrender completely to truth, or whatever you want to call it, you're going to be behaving or misbehaving or whatever. No, not at all. But we'll talk that we'll go to that in a moment. So when there's a recognition that I am, then whatever story that the mind conjures up can be seen as false and has no effect on what I am, on the peace, on the happiness, on the joy that I am, you see. So whether the story right now is that I don't have enough confidence, and then I have to kind of search if there is a cause in order for me to be more confident, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with being a more confident person. The problem is that either I'm a non-confident person or a confident person, I'm still believing I am a person, and that is the cause of all fear. The belief that I'm a separate entity, you see. When I believe that I'm separate from you, then I have to defend myself from you, protect myself from you or from the world. And if I trust you, I say that I like being with you, and that's fine. But there's always this lingering fear of what could happen to me. Why? Because I am believing the thought that says I am an individual. And now, when there's this fear, the mind says, let's see if we can find another thought which will make you feel better. But in the world of appearances, as you may have noticed already, everything changes. You see, you cannot trust anyone because they change their mind. That I'm not trying to be facetious. Is that the word? I don't know if that's the word, or negative. No, no, no. I'm just simply saying that if you trust life, which is what you are, you don't have to trust anybody else because you don't need anything from anybody else. You're simply seeing things as they are, but you're not moved nor affected by them. And interestingly enough, when you know who you are, which we can call it love, essence, would you be able to hurt someone else if you knew that that someone is you? You see? In the form, it appears that there's two different individuals, but in content, you see that the two are made out of the same energy source. They're part of the same source. And then, instead of seeing someone separate from me who can hurt me, I see someone, or let's put it this way, I see that I recognize the love that I am, and that's the way I relate to the seeming other. That doesn't mean that if the other is going to go after me, I'm just going to sit here in Om chanting and noticing that his love is not going to do anything to me. No. What I'm saying is that when I am identified with the love within me, with the sense of what I am, well, if I need to take some kind of action to protect this, that will happen naturally anyway, because it's not me who's doing it. Remember, I am not the doer. That's why these videos are paradoxical. Because on one end I can say I can see the truth in everything, and on the other end I can say that that's not something that will happen if that's not supposed to happen for you. It's very strange, but I always say this, and I'll say it again. I act as if I have freedom of choice, while simultaneously I know that I don't. What matters most, and this is what we're pointing to over and over and over again, is who I am. Am I this character making decisions? Am I this separate entity dealing with separate things? Or am I wholeness? As the Bible would say, seek you first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Get to know who you are. You see, this is what we're pointing to. Or another quote from the Bible, be still and know that I am God. And if you're new to these videos are not about the Bible. I only use those quotes from that particular teaching, but I could use quotes from every other teaching as well. It doesn't matter. Buddhism, A Course in Miracles, the miracle comes quietly to the mind that sits still for an instant. You see, same thing as be still and know that I'm God. But again, the miracle is not about things that will happen. It's about the change of mentality, the knowing of what I am. So the idea of trying to search for a cause is simply adding a story to the belief that I am this separate individual. I am not saying there's anything wrong with searching for a seeming cause. To some people, they may suggest that they have worked for them. Some people may have a particular psychological or block issue, and all of a sudden they were able to look at something that happened, that seemed to have happened in their past, and might help them to unblock something. So, everything can be useful. But in the end, as long as I still believing that I am this separate entity, I will always find myself looking for causes, one after the other one, looking for answers. Here's a quote from the Course in Miracles, that the answers that the world provides brings up another question, leaving the first one unanswered, you see. So in the mind, you're not going to find answers. All you're going to find are stories. And whatever is happening in your life right now, who do you think you are, you will notice that that's a story in the mind. And yes, some people have a story that seems to be very positive. Some people may have a story that seems to be negative. But in the end, they're just stories, you see, and they have nothing to do with who I am. And we're pointing here to who I am. Otherwise, some people may even have conflicting stories. The world sees them as if they are in a particular way, But then when they look inside themselves, they don't feel that way. I believe Paul McCartney was asked in an interview, and he said that one of the most feared questions that he had was if somebody asked him, "Are you happy?" Why? Because in the outside, we could look at him with all the fame and fortune and the family and everything, and everybody would think this guy must be very happy. But inside, he was not happy at all. So he was petrified that somebody would ask him, "Are you happy?" See? And that could happen to many of us. We have a front for the world, but how do we feel inside? But that has to do with the character. It has nothing to do with who you are. Who you are is always beingness. So if you take the story of how do you think you look to the outside world, and you take the story, or how do you think you, or how do you feel inside, whatever, these are just stories. The front that we used to show to the world, and the other one is the truth of how we're feeling, truth, quote unquote, right? You see the conflict in there? But we're pointing here to who I am. I'm not trying to take the one who feels bad and fix them to feel like the image he or she wants to project to the world. No, this is not about that. It's about resting in the freedom that you are right now. Who cares if the people think what they want? It doesn't matter. I don't have to pretend to be what I am not, because once you are resting in the ever-present experiencing that you are, then life is just, it happens, you see? Life just happens. So if I act or react in a particular way, and I understand that that's just conditioning, I have to understand that the way, quote unquote, others act and react is just also conditioning. But I know who they are because I know who I am. And we're pointing here to the recognition that I am. And this is not esoteric, this is not abstract, this is pure experience. Okay, let's put it to the test. Come on, we do this all the time in all the videos. Let's put it to the test right now. I'm not asking you to close your eyes and meditate or anything, no, because actually meditation is the recognition of not believing any thoughts. To me, that's what meditation is. But let's put it to the test, shall we? Right now. It doesn't matter what may be happening in your life, or how do you think you feel about yourself, or it doesn't matter. Right now, I'm asking you not to identify with anything that you're thinking, or better yet, with any thought that is appearing in you. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you, the person, I'm talking you as all that there is, But anyway, right now, I didn't say don't think. I mean, thoughts will appear. I mean, the sky never said, hey, okay, no clouds anymore. No, clouds will appear when they feel like, as they feel like, but the sky is not affected by any of them because it knows it is sky. You are that which words cannot be described, and that's experience. That is direct experience. You cannot deny nor negate that experience until you overshadow it with a thought, I am this person and this is my conditioning. But again, let's put it to the test. Right now, right this moment, the only one that there is, there's nothing else, there's no future nor past, but just for the record, for the sake of this example, right now, you see, life is, and you are alive, right this moment. Don't identify with any thoughts. I didn't say they will not be there. I say this again. I just simply said, just let them be. Thoughts are just passing clouds. Okay? Once again, you don't have to close your eyes because I don't want to turn into some kind of a practice or whatever that. No, this you can do while you're driving, while you're cooking, while you're changing the kids' diapers, while you're doing whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter. Right now, don't believe anything you think. And observe how life is using you to do whatever needs to be done in that moment, but it's not overshadowed by the conceptual mind evaluating everything. You just see how life is using you. You will know how to change the diapers of the kids. You will know how to cook. You will know how to do everything while you are resting in beingness, because beingness is what you are. So right now, I want you to simply rest right now, this moment, just as it is. Don't identify with any thought. And here's the question that I've asked all the time. What is direct experience right now? What is the direct experience? And if you answer, you're in the mind, you see? If you go, oh, it's peace, it's space-like. No, I don't want any answers. I just want you to get to notice, the direct experience, okay? You see? Now, in direct experience, where there are no stories, is there high self-esteem? Is there low self-esteem? Is there fear? Is there worry? Is there guilt? Concern? Is there excitement or any of the... See, none of that. These are distractions. They can pass by, but you are that in which all of this seem to manifest. You see? I wrote a book, it's called I Am, in which everything seems to appear and disappear, which we address all of this, Right now, just beingness, pure beingness, just beingness. This is what it is. This is what is. You see? And just notice. Well, now you're resting in life, which is what you are, in spite of whatever movements seem to take place on the surface. There'll be times when you may find yourself that a scream may come up. A sensation will come up. You see? Thoughts also, everything will seem to happen, but you're resting in beingness, which is what you are. And this is what we're pointing to. These videos are not about fixing the thought called character I. These videos are just to never lose sight of the fact that I am. We rest in the I am. That's all. The thing is that because there's so much conditioning about what this I am is, and on top of that what it wants, what it desires, all the things are basically shadows that overlooked, you see, that overshadowed what we are. We're bringing it back to the essence. And even the mind, the conditioning will bring up an argument. Yeah, but if I do that, life is going to be boring. There is nothing to do. And I can reassure you, it's the total opposite. Life is wonderful. Life is peaceful. Life is joy. And whatever I do will be according to the conditioning. If you're a musician, you'll continue making music. If you're an artist, you'll continue doing art. If you're a father or a mother, you'll continue taking care of the family. You'll continue doing whatever you do. If you're a business owner or if you work at whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do will continue to be done, but it's going to be done from a different space, you see. That's the change of mentality we're pointing to here. And as the recognition of what I am is established, there's no fear of death. Because who would die? The eternal cannot die, only the temporary. But the temporary is a thought. It's just a thought. If I ask you who you are, you have to go to thinking to tell me who you are. But if you rest right now in what is, who are you? Or what are you? You see? Any answer is thinking. We're not seeking answers here. We're just pointing to the obvious of what is. And then as trusting life develops, you'll see that things are done anyway. You'll continue doing your life like you did before. That's why there's an old quote, I think it's a Zen quote, that says, before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. For many years I could not understand the obviousness of that because I was still thinking in terms of something that would happen to the character. Okay, before I become enlightened and after I become enlightened. But the character cannot become enlightened because the character is a projection. Enlightenment is just simply not believing the thoughts. So, chop wood, carry water, when I'm believing the thoughts of worry, concerns and everything, after I stop believing the thought, you see, after enlightenment, after I no longer believe the thoughts, now I'm happy, I'm joyful, while I'm still chopping wood and carry water. You see? It's when the mind begins to invent concepts about enlightenment and illumination and all that kind of stuff. That's when we make things complicated. But in reality, right now life is. And if I don't believe anything that the mind is thinking, I am enlightened in that case. That's what the enlightened that we're talking about. And a consequence of that is not that you're going to see colors and you're going to have a particular experience where you'll have no pains and life is going to go in a particular way according to how you want, or will not experience challenges. No, everything will continue, but it will be experienced differently. That's what is referred to as the peace that passes all understanding. And resting in that presence awareness that we are, like the book of a series, which is called Living in the Present, or Out of Your Mind, what do you prefer? Now you're resting in ever presence awareness, always, not sometimes, always, because it's our nature, you see. And then life happens, but it's not personal. It's more universal. You no longer see yourself as an individual. You experience yourself more as a part of the environment, and this is something we cannot talk about. This is you have to experience this. But at least what is practical here is that as you rest in awareness, because that's what you are, and you can see that everything are just thoughts, and if you stop believing the thoughts, means you stop believing the stories. When you no longer believe in the stories, what is the point for searching for a story or a seeming cause, when in reality you simply are? And then life is. And if something needs to be known that may help the character in the dream, well, that would happen too, but you don't have to be looking for it. There's no need to search for it. Unless in the script you're supposed to find yourself searching for it, you see. So we're not trying, these videos are not about what to do per se. They're pointing at the obvious right now. Let's look at it together. Let's look at it together right now. Notice that life is. What is the experience? The experience is life. That's it. And once again, what overshadows it? Whatever thought you're imposing over this experience. I shouldn't be doing this. I am a person. This is weird. This is boring. How am I going to take care of my family? How am I going to live in the world? You see, these are thoughts. These are thoughts. That means absolutely nothing. But they're used to keep reinforcing the thought, I, separate individual. So the invitation here is just to notice beingness. You see, pure beingness. And see how life unfolds. That's a mystery. When you can live comfortably with the mystery, then you have discovered the quote-unquote secret to happiness, which was not a secret. It was always right there, available. You're not happy because what you do. You're not happy because what you have. You're happy because you are. You see? And yes, in the happiness that I am, in the peace that I am, all kinds of movements can take place. All kinds of challenges may seem to appear. Sensations, tears, or a sensation of heavy energy. All that can be there. But that does not affect, you see, the background. And we're reminded that we are the background, not the individual that seems to be overshadowing the background. This is all these videos are about, nothing else. And that's why there's no need to search for more stories. I need to go in my past to make up a story to find out why am I the way I am right now. I just need to know that I am. End of story. That's freedom. And that's where this is pointing to. So anyway, I hope this video may have served. And as always, may the peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.